What if I told you that some people wake up every morning with money already sitting in their bank account? Let's dive right into this explainer and look at why Adam chose a quote-unquote boring business and how it made him completely financially free. Turns out, financial independence is usually hiding right in plain sight.
Seriously, imagine that for a second. No meetings, no boss, no endless hustle chasing down customers. And it's not because they got lucky. It's simply because they own businesses that just keep earning money every single month. Today we're talking about Adam. He realized something huge. The richest people out there, they don't always build these flashy, exciting startups. They build stuff that solves everyday, recurring problems.
Because listen, in the business world, we are completely obsessed with the startup playbook, right? But trying to build the next tech unicorn from scratch, that comes with a massive 90% failure rate. 90! But if you flip the script and use the buy-then-build model, meaning you acquire an existing cash-flowing business, the failure rate drops to just 30%. Buying a proven system with actual paying customers is just mathematically way safer than trying to guess what the market wants.
Let's take a look at Adam's 5-year journey. He was grinding away at a regular 9-to-5, earning a salary but having nothing left over by the end of the month. He wanted to start a business but kept waiting for the perfect idea. Finally, he stopped searching for glamour. In year 2, he just went out and bought a local laundromat. By year 3, he optimized it and added some vending machines. And then by year 5, he rolled those profits into self-storage. He didn't just work harder, he bought assets that worked for him.
So, let's break down Adam's first brilliant move. He stepped into a business that already had cash flow and everyday demand, the humble laundromat. Now, obviously a laundromat is never going to make headlines in Silicon Valley, but it gives you something a flashy startup almost never does: steady demand. I mean, people are always going to need to wash their clothes, right? He basically bought a foundation that was already tested by time and local demographics.
And wow, the numbers really speak for themselves here. Laundromats can actually yield a remarkable 20 to 35% return on investment. The survival rate is incredibly high, and it's practically recession-proof. Even when the economy is struggling, that basic human need for clean clothes, it doesn't just disappear. That gives you this fantastic, reliable baseline of natural, recurring cash flow.
But you can't just buy the first one you see. Adam had to be super smart during the acquisition to make sure he didn't overpay. There's this tricky little thing in the laundry industry called the spring bounce. Basically, around April or May, revenue naturally shoots up because people are washing heavy winter blankets and pulling out their summer wardrobes. If you only look at the last 6 months of data during a spring purchase, you could end up overpaying by tens of thousands of dollars. You literally have to review 2 full years of financials to find the real average.
Okay, so once the laundromat was humming along, Adam used his profits to create some new revenue streams for his captive audience. He added vending machines. The strategy here is brilliant but simple. Get paid every month instead of getting paid only once. Think about it. When folks are doing laundry, they get bored, they get hungry, or they just forget their detergent. Dropping in some automated machines for snacks, drinks, or soap, that is an instant, highly scalable way to boost your bottom line without adding extra physical labor for the owner.
Now sure, a single vending machine might only bring in, say, $40 to $120 a month in pure profit. Doesn't sound like much, right? But if you maintain a reliable 25 to 35% net profit margin across multiple machines, that creates a massive, powerful system. It's not about getting rich off one single candy dispenser. It's about tracking sales data, managing your inventory smartly, and letting this whole network of machines generate predictable cash for you while you're literally sleeping. So, with his system scaling up and cash flowing in, Adam takes his biggest leap yet into what a lot of people consider the absolute premier asset class of boring businesses: self-storage. It's kind of the perfect business model convergence. You get the hard stability of tangible real estate mixed with this beautifully automated hands-off subscription service.
I mean, just look at this data. It is absolutely staggering. Self-storage boasts net operating income margins of 65 to 75%. That is the highest in all of commercial real estate. Plus, over 60% of the customers are millennials or Gen Z, and they basically treat storage like a Netflix subscription, holding on to units for 18 to 24 months on average. This is how Adam transformed his recurring revenue into serious multi-generational wealth.
So I want you to pause for a second and honestly ask yourself this question, because your answer reveals a lot about your current system. How many hours of your week depend entirely on you physically being there for money to come in? If your answer is literally all of them, then you're stuck in that silent trap of trading your time for money. Adam's real transformation wasn't just buying businesses, it was totally rewiring how he thought about work and wealth. Because buying the business, that's just the vehicle. What actually transforms your life is making these 5 foundational mindset shifts. Without these, you just own a really stressful job. So, let's break down the 5 shifts Adam made.
Shift number 1, realizing your money can no longer depend on your physical energy. Whether you're an employee, a freelancer, whatever. If you get sick or want to take a vacation, your income completely stops. But when you own a self-storage facility, that concrete block stays right where it is and the customer pays every single month. You finally start measuring your worth by the systems you build instead of the hours you clock.
Shift 2 is a major ego check. Look, nobody's bragging on Instagram about buying a dumpster rental or a local laundromat, but hey, that is exactly where your advantage is. You're stepping off that exhausting treadmill of needing social validation. Letting go of the need to look like this flashy, globe-trotting entrepreneur frees up so much mental energy. Energy you can use to actually run a highly profitable business.
Now, Shift 3 changes your daily operations from the ground up. You have to stop acting like an employee inside your own business. Instead of asking, how do I do my job faster, you need to start asking, how do I engineer this whole thing to run without me? You focus on optimizing routes, automating payments, and delegating the maintenance. You become the architect of the system, not just a cog spinning inside of it.
Shift 4 is all about redefining what a successful business actually feels like. A boring business is never going to give you the crazy adrenaline rush of a viral tech launch. And honestly, it really shouldn't. You come to realize that building true wealth is often calm, quiet, and yeah, even a little monotonous. It's about choosing consistency over excitement, year after year.
And finally, Shift 5, which might just be the most profound. Your entire definition of risk gets flipped upside down. Most people think jumping on a shiny new trend is a good bet, but a business tied to a viral fad can see its demand just vanish overnight. You stop measuring risk by how new or innovative an idea is, and you start measuring it by how constant the human need is. People are always going to need to wash clothes, store old furniture, and throw away trash. That constant need, that's your ultimate safety net.
Now, before you rush out to buy the first boring business you can find, you have to be super careful to avoid these common traps. First, don't assume a business will work in your town just because it works somewhere else. Demand is intensely local. Second, do not underestimate your first-year operating capital. Running out of cash kills 82% of failing businesses. Also, master one single unit before you try to scale. Treat the business like a long-term system rather than a temporary gig. And please, don't just blindly copy someone else's model without adjusting for your own personal risk tolerance.
As Adam's journey perfectly proves, wealth isn't built by finding the newest, flashiest idea. It's built by owning businesses that just quietly keep making money month after month, solving everyday problems long after the rest of the world has chased the next passing trend.
So, as you look at your own path to financial freedom, which part of your mindset is still stuck in the old model? What beliefs are holding you back from embracing the brilliant profitability of boring businesses? Are you still chasing the adrenaline of the next big thing, or are you finally ready to build a system that lets you own your time? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. I highly challenge you to start looking for those invisible, quote-unquote, boring opportunities hidden right in your own neighborhood.